Can I brush your suit? And hi everyone, my name is Stormi the Folf, and today I am collaborating with a blue sodaroo who has an interesting affinity for peeps. You might know her for her feel-good vibes and wholesome education on the furry fandom. My fellow subscribers and friendos, please welcome Pocari Roo.
Hello!
Pocari and I are going to talk about the importance of brushing your suit, like how to brush it, when to brush it, why you should brush it, and what happens if you don't brush it. The humble Fursuit wire brush, a simple yet effective and powerful tool that every suit maker and suitor should own. Some suit makers even include them as an added gift when you buy your suit, but in any case, you're going to need one of these if you're a fursuiter. You can find these at any pet store, your local Walmart, and most big box retailers. So join me and Pocari on an epic journey of the importance, significance, etiquette, and just, how to straighten up your floof.
Brush etiquette. I say, that's an exquisite anthropomorphic suit that you're wearing, and you present it so well. It would be my pleasure to detail its luxurious shag to perfection by applying a light brush to your head. May I?
It's important to ask before brushing one's fursuit. They may want or need it to be brushed in a specific manner. I understand you want to help, but there may be an underlying structural problem to the fur, foam, or base, where brushing it might actually cause more problems. So for example, it might have to be brushed very gently or only in specific spots. It's okay to help a suitor in need, just ask before you do anything. Always ask first. You don't want to give them a heart attack. They could be hugging someone or walking to the headless lounge, and if you just brush them out of nowhere, you might scare the potatoes out of them. So don't do that. Always ask first.
Brushing the suit. When it comes to fursuit brushing, you can't just brush it however you want. It all depends on the type of fur, how you want it to look, and the type of brush you have. For most fursuits with medium-length fur, just a few strokes on the fur with a wire brush will do just fine, provided the suit hasn't been neglected or stored for long periods of time. It's also important not to overbrush. This will pull out more of the fur over time and even destroy the backing holding the fur together, which is something you don't want on a non-living thing. That didn't sound right. Look, it ain't growing back, so don't overbrush. And follow the path the fur flows. If the fur goes downwards, brush downwards. Never brush the opposite direction. That's how fur gets messy and matted and tangled and all things horrible. And don't brush sideways either. Fur is designed to be brushed in the direction it flows and nowhere else. It's not like human hair where you can spike it or style at your own discretion. When it comes to brushing really short fur, say like around your paw pads or around the fluffy sides, don't get too aggressive. Sometimes all you have to do is lightly press downwards and then pull it up with a slicker brush. When shorter fur is brushed improperly, it is more likely to show balding, which is very bad. Balding is exactly what it sounds like. Look at old Pocari 1.5, he's an old man. And your paw pads tend to see a lot of movement for articulation and waving and holding on to things and all that jazz, so they tend to spring a lot of holes, and you don't want to damage the backing holding all that together.
Brush science.
Now, no matter what brush you use, a tiny bit of fur will always be removed. If you're new to suiting, this can seem a little alarming, but it's actually totally normal. If you have brand new fur and you shake it in the light, you can see little bits and pieces of it shed into the abyss. This effect slows down as the fur ages and wears in. At least with quality luxury shag anyway. Try to avoid buying the cheapest stuff you can find if you're a suit maker. Anyway, slicker brushes are powerful, but also tend to remove the most fur. You know how you brush your hair and a little bit of it collects on the brush? It's kind of like that. The most common method is to push the slicker brush away from you, like so. Looks pretty good, right? This is my preferred method. But what if you're not satisfied? What if you want it to look even cleaner and floofier?
What kind of brush do you need? Different suits, different fur lengths, and just different preferences all need to be taken into consideration to determine what kind of brush you need. For example, if you take a wire brush and pull it towards you, the wires latch onto the fur really hard and straighten everything out for an even fluffier look. This might even make your suit look brand new again. This method, however, does pull out the most fur afterwards, can reduce the overall lifespan of your suit, can quickly expose any bad patches of fur, it does take some elbow grease, and you don't want to pull too hard doing this. Like, don't take your anger out on the suit, otherwise you might compromise the structure of the backing. The backing is the tiny itty bitty holes that each little bit of fur is threaded through, so as you brush harder, those holes become wider and the fur falls out. Which means you broke your suit, and your maker will be doing a very heckin' sad. Respect the floof. Now these two methods apply only to wire brushes and will not work with brushes with straight bristles, which brings me to pin brushes. These look more like your average human hair brushes with soft pins on the end so they don't hurt your scalp, or in this case, hurt the backing of your suit. They're super easy to use, pull out very little fur, but also tend to do the worst job appearance-wise. It's like brushing at 240p. You'll see lines where the fur wasn't brushed because there are less bristles to do the job. More bristles will cover more fur, but also pull out more fur. I hope that makes sense. If you've got a suit that hasn't been brushed in aeons and it looks really matted, using a basic pin brush then working your way up to a slicker brush might be a good idea.
One more brush you might try is a Tangle Teezer. I got this one from Amazon. I feel like these are a good middle ground between pin brushes and wire brushes. They're very gentle on the fur and still do a decent job of straightening things out, provided your fursuit has been taken care of. There are also some brushes like this where you push a button and it ejects the old fur that you pulled out. Kind of like this. Anyway, this is super handy and can save you a lot of time, especially if you're brushing an entire full suit or multiple suits. And you can use smaller brushes like this to get to harder to reach areas. I need to get a smaller wire brush, but for now, this soft pin brush will do. And you can also find these at most big box retailers. And lastly, out of all the methods shown, there's not really a wrong way to brush your suit. I know some people out there are thinking, this dumb YouTuber's gonna destroy all kinds of fursuits. And you can honestly say whatever you want, that's your opinion. But I've used all these methods with luxury shag, which is what most fursuits are made of, multiple times without a single problem. The key with wire brushes is to not brush so hard to the point things rip apart. If you still think we're wrong, let me know in the comments and I will be glad to debate with you.
How often to brush? A commonly asked question that is never answered enough. When do you brush your suit? A good rule of thumb is to brush your suit before and after each time you wear it. Every day at a con, every time you wear the suit, and when it comes to cleaning, always before and after you wash the suit. That's so the fur doesn't risk getting tangled or matted in the wash, which could be very bad, and as your suit dries, you want to brush it, so that way the fur sets into the proper position. This will also ensure your fur lasts as long as possible, but as previously discussed, don't overbrush things. You don't have to brush it every 5 minutes, but you also shouldn't neglect it for months on end. The fur gets used to sticking in an unbrushed position, and the longer it stays that way, the more stubborn it is to tame again. But don't wear your suit every day of the week and then only brush it once every 6 months. Take good care of your suit and it will give you years and years of enjoyment and fluffy perfection.
So, what happens if I don't brush my suit?
You know how some long-haired doggos get matted hair and there's no way to brush it out no matter what you do? It just gets clipped off, right? That's no big deal for real animals cause it'll just grow right back. Fursuits aren't organic, living, breathing organisms last I checked. It ain't growing back.
Wah, shut up, Stormaroni. Why do I gotta listen to you? My suit looks fine. You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay then, consider this. Think about when you wash your fursuit. You do wash your fursuit once in a while, right? Guess what happens if you never brush your suit and you decide to give it a wash? Will the fur get clean? Probably. Will your bodysuit come out in one piece? Maybe. When you don't brush your suit to extreme measures like this, you destroy the structural integrity and whatever's left might be decimated by your washing machine. How's that for a terrifying thought? Brush your suit! I really hope y'all found this video helpful, and a super special awesome shout out to Pocari Roo for helping me with this collab.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Anyway, this was a serious blast to put together, and I'm truly honored to collaborate with someone who motivated me to get more involved with the furry fandom. If you enjoyed this vid, consider giving it a like, leave a comment, let me know what your fursuit brushing techniques are. Let me know if what I said was helpful or dumb. And of course, subscribe, and also subscribe to Pocari Roo. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye!
Can reduce the lifespan of your suit, can quickly explode. God, you can Stormi. This is a very long sentence. I need to breathe, man.
Pocari and I are going to talk about the importance of brushing your suit, and what happens if you lose the fursuit brush that you need for filming.